Hi everyone, welcome to the Essex Sport Facebook page. My name is Arlene. I'm going to run a 30-minute yoga session today. If you want to just make sure you've got plenty of space to move around freely, that your floor is not slippery, and it would be nice to have a yoga or Pilates mat, something to help give you a bit of cushion and also support or grip. Okay, great. Feel free to have some water nearby and just work at your own pace. Do movements that feel comfortable for you today. Okay, lovely. So we're going to start laying on our back. So just come to a comfortable position and just notice if you'd like to have your legs straight, maybe you'd like to have your knees bent, and just make a few adjustments or movements to feel comfortable. So you might adjust your shoulders into the mat. Notice where you'd like to place your arms so that they're comfortable. And as you come to be comfortable, again, you're welcome to put on blankets or cushions. Just notice this moment, this time, so you can just find a bit of stillness. And as you take this time, it's nice to focus on your breath. Just find your inhalation. Notice where the air enters as you inhale, and the parts of your body that move. And when you exhale, notice your touching points on the ground. You might start to soften through your touching points of your feet and your hips, your shoulders and arms or hands, the back of your neck, and just feel the flow of your breath in its natural state. So does your breath feel relaxed and with ease today? Is there tension in your breath? Does it feel with effort? But just notice this without judgment. And when you're ready, just let each exhalation feel relaxed, so it just drifts out of your body gently. As you focus on your exhalation, it helps to relax your body. Your heart rate naturally may slow as you relax your breath. Just notice each exhalation. Let go and sink into the mat. Let go of anything that's pulling you away from this moment. Any thoughts and lists of things to do, you're welcome to imagine that there is a basket next to you. You can place anything that pulls you away from this moment into that basket, and it's still there to pick up again at the end of the practice. So again, just allow your exhalation to feel relaxed, easing out of your body. Let your body feel heavy, so gravity takes over. Good. Now when you're ready, just sense the temperature of your skin, sense the space surrounding you. Notice your muscles. And we'll very slowly begin to reconnect with the body, just wiggling fingers and toes or turning your head side to side, just see what feels comfortable for you. Good, so just a gentle awakening now. Good. And then you can bend your knees and place your feet on the floor. And just notice how your back feels, your feet, your chest, your arms again. Just sense that space surrounding you. And then very slowly bring one thigh towards your stomach, so one foot lifts away from the floor, and just see if you'd like to hold the back of your thigh or your shin and just relax there. As an option, you might bring your forehead up towards your knee. Just see if that feels comfortable for you today, or if that feels nice. Good, so one more breath here, and just check in if your hips feel level and even, and maybe your shoulders are evenly relaxed into the mat, so you can feel that space behind you again. Good, you're welcome to straighten the opposite leg if you'd like more of a release in the front of your hip there. Good. And then when you're ready, we'll swap and just bring the opposite thigh towards your stomach. Other leg, would you like it straight or with your knee bent? Just see which one you prefer. Feel aligned in both sides of your hips, your shoulders relax, the muscles of your face. Good. One more breath here, and then we'll release our leg. Take a nice full body stretch. So as you inhale, reach your arms overhead, lengthen your legs long and away. You might imagine that you're trying to reach away from your center and almost touch the space or the wall behind you, and your toes will lengthen away from your center. Good. And as you exhale, we'll bring both knees to your chest, hold your shins, stay here, and just find a rocking motion that feels comfortable. So you can rock side to side. You might draw circles on the ceiling with your knees and reverse. Just observe what feels comfortable for you. Good. And then when you're ready, you can either roll to one side and push yourself up, or you just might rock up from your back onto your front and come onto all fours on your hands and knees. Good. Once you're on all fours, just notice the alignment of your body, and we'll start to move through cat and cow. So just starting to soften your stomach towards the mat, tailbone tips up. and then round your spine gently to the ceiling, and you can relax the back of your neck and notice your shoulder blades start to open. We'll do 2 more rounds of cat and cow, and just notice how that feels in your body. Perhaps you move with a breathing pattern. So you can inhale for cow, notice your tailbone tip up and lengthen the top of your head away from you, and exhaling for cat, rounding your spine, relaxing that whole space behind you. Good. And we'll come back to a neutral spine, and just very slowly start to find child's pose or extended child's pose. Your bottom comes to your heels, upper body starts relaxing forward. Just notice what support you'd like here. You can also relax your hands either side of your feet if that feels comfortable today, or rest your hands on your lower back. You might even very slowly start to interlace your fingers and lengthen your knuckles away from you, or even rotate through your shoulders if that feels comfortable. Just do it without tension. You might prefer to relax your shoulders a little bit by bending your elbows so there's no tension in the sides of your neck or the shoulders themselves. Good, so 1 more breath here. And then when you're ready, just very slowly start to uncurl your spine. Good, we'll come back up to all 4s on hands and knees. And just reach 1 arm out to the side and then gently rotate. You might do that with your inhalation. You can look up at your fingers. Then as you exhale, lower your arm. Start to slide your fingers between the opposite wrist and knee. And just stay there, breathe into your shoulder blades. You might relax your forehead down towards the floor. You can use your block or cushions or your head for your fist under your head. Stay there and just see too, it might be nice to relax your bottom towards your heels. Breathe here into your shoulder blades, soften the side of your neck, relax through your arms. Good, and then we'll slowly uncurl. Come back up to all 4s on hands and knees, and just notice how that side of your body feels compared to the other. And then we'll do the other side when you're ready. So arm out to the side, rotate, maybe look up at your fingers, feel your chest open, and then slowly, perhaps with your exhalation, lower your arms, start to slide your fingertips between your opposite wrist and knee. Relax there, wherever that's comfortable, same options. And maybe you bring your bottom to your heels if that feels nice, but no pressure, wherever that feels nice for you. Good, and we'll gently uncurl, come back up to all 4s. Good, and then imagine that your hands are just softening into wet clay, so they kind of relax evenly into the ground. Tuck your toes under, bottom to your heels, and as you exhale, we'll lift up to downward facing dog. Let's tuck my shirt in. So when you exhale, lift your hips up, relax your feet into the floor, and you're welcome to stay there in stillness. You might bend your knees a little bit, but really think about creating a nice long spine like we felt in child's pose. You can even start to bicycle your feet a little bit if that feels nice. You can come up onto the balls of your feet and alternate, kind of relaxing each heel in the direction of the floor. You can even start to lift a little bit to flying dog, 1 leg up at a time if that feels nice today. So just make a few movements that feel nice in your downward facing dog. Good, so what feels comfortable to ease out tension. Maybe there's a little movement like you're drawing a circle with your tailbone in your downward facing dog and go in the other direction. Good, and then when you're ready, very slowly start to walk your hands to your feet or your feet to hands. Come to stay in a forward folded position that feels nice for you. So whether that's with a bend in your knees and resting your forearms on your thighs to find that long spine and a lovely folding from your hip space. You might have those straighter legs, resting your hands on your thighs or your shins or towards the floor. If you want to come into it deeper, you might bend your elbows and hold on to the opposite forearm to relax the top of your head towards your forearms. So just come into that as much as feels comfortable. Just feel the weight even throughout your feet, both feet connecting with the ground. Tension, no tension in your toes. Notice if they're curled up a bit, perhaps spread them wide. Then when you're ready, we'll come up to standing. So draw your navel inward, slowly uncurl your spine, come up to standing, cataplast. When you're upright, you might give your shoulders a little shrug in either direction, everything a little shake. You can rotate through your ankles if that feels nice. Just any little movements to shake out tension from your body. Okay, so as you come to a standing position, check in. You might have your feet about the width of your hips, your hip bones, or you might place your feet next to each other. Just check in. Okay, so we're going to bring our arms up overhead. Keep your chin parallel to the floor. Arms come up overhead. And you might start to interlace your thumbs so they touch and lengthen your fingertips up towards the ceiling. So just notice how that feels. You might feel your sides grow, chin parallel to the floor. You can even retract your head back slightly, maintaining your face forward. Good. One more breath here. And then very slowly open your arms out to the side. And you can give everything a little shake or shrug your shoulders again if that feels comfortable. Okay. Lovely. So we're going to do a few balances next. So just check in if you want to do that on your mat, if that creates resistance off your mat, or you can stand near a chair or the wall for support. Okay, so coming to your mountain pose, feel the weight even throughout your feet, so not so your toes or heels more, shoulders over hips, so top of your head as if it's lengthening upward, your chin parallel to the floor. And as your top of your head lengthens upward, you might feel a little engagement naturally arise in your navel or your center. Good. So we're going to pick one leg as the standing leg, so perhaps you shift the weight over to your right leg and bend your left knee, and then rotate through your thigh to turn your knee out to the side. And then see if you like to rest the bottom of your foot inside of your ankle toes brushing the floor, or you might start to lift your foot higher. Just avoid the side of the knee itself, so perhaps on your calf, or perhaps on your thigh. So wherever that's comfortable for you today. Good, and then just very slowly start to turn the palms of your hands up, and your elbows just nestle in either side of your rib cage. So option 1, stay here. Option 2, you might rotate through your shoulders to turn your fingertips out to the side. You can stay here. So at any time you can bring your foot lower. Option 3, so this challenges the bounce further. You can start to rotate through your shoulders so your fingers are forward, and then rotate till they come out to the side. And just do that again at your own pace. You might, as an option, add a breathing pattern to this. So you inhaling when your fingers come forward and exhaling when your arms come out to the side as an option. Just find the breath that feels natural for you. So if that feels a bit like it detracts from the movement by thinking about the breath, just focus on the movements, slow and gentle with ease. Avoid any tension if it arises. Good. And then we'll stay there for another round of breath. Again, any of those options, holding stillness or adding that movement to your arms. Good, and then when you're ready, we'll start to bring our knee forward. Good, relax your arms, legs, and you can give everything a little shake. Before we do the other side, if you step your feet a little bit wider than hip distance, and you can place your hands on your hips and just do 3 circles of your hips in one direction. So they come to the side, forward, the opposite side, and behind you. Good, and then after your third one, you can go in the other direction. So just make that your own. Maybe that creates a little release through your lower back, or the sides of your hips, or the front of your hip space. Good. And then you can give everything a little shake to see what feels right for you. Maybe massage out your feet or shrug your shoulders a few times. Back to your mountain pose, softening your weight evenly throughout your feet, crown of the head lengthening up very gently, creating that lovely long spine and engaging your navel inward naturally. And then we'll do the other leg. So maybe the weight shifts over to your left leg, so it kind of comes in the center of your body. Opposite knee bends, rotate from your thigh to turn your leg out to the side, or your knee out to the side. Bottom of your foot inside of your ankle or inside of your leg, wherever that's comfortable. Just check in, adjust to where it feels nice. Option to stay here, or you might add that turn upward of your palms with your elbows nestling on either side of your rib cage, or maybe you turn your fingertips out to the side, or maybe you like that challenge of slowly rotating through your arms, or rotating through your shoulders. Where does the origin of the movement come from? Do you feel it in your hands? Do you feel it higher up towards your elbows as you bring the movement, if you've chosen it? Or do you feel it in your chest, your shoulders themselves? Good, so just explore that at your own pace. Just notice what arises. You can make little adjustments, both in the posture to feel at ease, and same in anything that arises throughout your day. Good. So when you're ready, we'll come back to a stillness, and you can bring your knee forward again, relax your arms and your legs, and you can give everything a little shake. Okay, so next, if you stand with your feet about the width of your hips, and just very slowly start to rotate from your waist, so your arms kind of swing out to the side. So just make sure you've got plenty of space to do this. There's not a wall or something in the way of your path for your arms. And if you want to make that a bit deeper of a rotation, when you rotate to the right, for example, you might lift your left heel off the floor and vice versa. You can even start to bring your opposite hand to your shoulder as an option. And to deepen the rotation, you can look over your shoulder behind you. Okay, so we'll just do 2 more rotations here. Nice way to release any tension from your spine, from your sides. That's my fast one. And then when you're ready, we'll come back to stillness, and you can shake out your arms and legs. Okay, so we'll do another little balance here. So if you turn your toes out to the side, step your feet a little bit wider than hip distance apart, and just feel that alignment of your shoulders over your hips. Okay, so we're going to just fairly slowly turn the palms of your hands away from you. And then as you lift your heels off the floor, you might start to lift your arms up. So just stop at any point here. But at maximum, you might bring your arms up into a V and your heels lifted. So you're on the balls of your feet. So just do that at your own pace as much as feels comfortable. Listen to your body. Come down at any time. But you might start to imagine that you feel almost like a star exploring in space, shining in the sky, and you can feel the space surrounding you. So below your arms, between your legs, between your hands, and it's almost like there's energy radiating from the palms of your hands to the other, just creating a sense of connection through your body. Good. And when you're ready, just very slowly, you can turn your palms down and just start to lower your heels to the floor, and just do that at your own pace, so no rush. Great. And then we'll give everything a little shake again. You can shrug your shoulders a few times if that feels nice. And if you stuck your feet about hip width apart, as you inhale, bring your arms up overhead. And then as you exhale, sit as if the chair pose. Let your arms relax down through the shoulder space. And just do that again, twice more. And perhaps just to lead with your tailbone, so your tailbone directs down. And last one, and it helps to create any release through your lower back. Okay, great. So give everything a little shake again. Okay, so we're going to come down to the ground. First by just stepping your right leg comfortably back. So if you face the short edge of your mat, your hips are parallel, feet are out the width of your hips. Step your right leg comfortably back. So it's like your feet are on a train track. And then just very slowly start to bend your front knee. So maybe that's your left knee. Good. And then we're very slowly going to bring our hands to the floor. So just journeying down. Try to think about keeping a long spine so you're hinging here from your hips. Good. Check in with how that feels. You might bring your back leg's knee down if that's comfortable. Maybe that's your right leg. You can stay up on the ball of your foot if that feels comfortable. So kind of like in a runner's lunge. You're just checking with how that feels. You can make little adjustments so it feels comfortable for your foot. Sometimes it's nice to have that alignment of your knee above your ankle, but just be comfortable wherever your knee feels that there's no tension or rotation that's uncomfortable. Just so we can hold in stillness and start to have a little release here in the front of your hip. So again, you can bring your knee down at any time, just checking with how that feels, and just start to soften your jaw and the muscles of your face. Good, and as you hold the position, you might start to feel that easing or sense through the front of your hip space. If you want more, you can imagine that the legs extend behind you. For me, that's my right leg. You might start to reach your heel behind you. So that helps to activate the back of your leg as well as a little bit increased release in the front. Good. And then we'll keep our legs as they are, but just start to lower your back leg's knee to the floor. And you can shorten your stance here a little bit, so approximately your knees underneath your hip space. And just check in. You can soften the top of your foot onto the mat if that feels comfortable. And bring your arm on the inside edge of your bent knee. So my left knee is in front of me with the knee bent, and my left arm comes on the inside edge of my left knee. And just stay there for a moment and think about if there were like a wet sand or cement below your foot and you wanted to make an impression of a mold of your foot. So you start to push your foot down evenly into the ground, and perhaps that creates a little release in your lower back. Maybe that starts to feel a connection from your foot all the way up your leg to your lower back. And then relax. And do that twice more. Just pushing down and relax. Last one, your foot pushes down into the mat and relax. Okay, great. So next, we're going to come here to stay. You might lift your chest a bit by lifting your upper body away from the floor. So just see how that feels. If you want to come into this deeper, you might slide your back leg's knee further behind you, but keep your knee in contact with the ground for this one. Good. And then just very slowly, if you want more, think about bringing your upper body straight forward to come down. You might come down to your forearms. You're welcome to rest your forehead down. Just come into it as much as feels comfortable. And it's natural for the weight to kind of transfer outwards to the outside edge of the foot that's in front. So it might roll up to the outside edge if your left foot's in front. But just notice where that's comfortable for you to practice. And so one more round of breath here. Just feeling that create ease in the front of your hips and the inside edge of your thigh. Good. And then we'll very slowly bring our knee back upright so your foot comes onto the floor. Lift back up, bring your arm back to the outside edge of your foot, and then come through all fours. Good. Just take a moment to notice how your body feels. You can relax your hips side to side if that feels comfortable, or you might start to imagine you're drawing a circle on the ceiling with your tailbone if that feels comfortable as well. Good, so just a little rocking side to side of the hips, or a little circling of your upper body. Good, so next we'll bring the other foot forward. So I'm bringing my right foot forward and just check in. You can keep your left knee on the ground or lift up onto the ball of your foot. Just check in how that feels. You can add a little lift of your upper body. Check in as you find that stillness on this side. Just feel that easing coming in the front of your hip. So if your left leg's behind you, maybe your left hip starts to create space in front of it, where your thigh meets the hip. Good. Just check in. Notice how it feels. Option to push your heel further away from you. Good. And then we'll start to bring our knee down behind us. You can shorten your stance a little bit. Then my right foot's in front. My right arm comes on the inside edge of my shin. And then imagine there's cement below your foot, and you just push your foot down evenly into the ground. Maybe that sense, that pushing down radiates up your leg to your lower back. It almost creates a little openness there. And then relax your foot, and then do that twice more, pushing down evenly into the floor, into that wet cement to make your mold of your foot, and then relax. Good, once more. It's really subtle. Perhaps you start to feel as you push your foot down into the ground, a little release there in the lower back. Good, and then relax again. Okay, so we're going to set up. You can stay here if you want. You might bring your upper body further down. If you want more, slide your leg straight behind your shoulder, a little bit further back. Okay, so maybe that's where you'd like to stay, to feel that little bit of openness further on the front of your hip. If you want more, you can come down onto your forearms. You can come down to bring your head down, just wherever that's comfortable. And again, so that foot can stay, but if it's more comfortable, you might start to lift your big toe off the floor. So as long as there's no twisting in your knee itself, you can ease the weight a little bit onto the outside edge of your foot. Okay, so just checking with how that feels nice for you, and you can adjust the placement of your foot so it feels comfortable. Good, so one more breath here. Open. And then very slowly bring the bottom of your foot to the floor, lift up onto your arms, step your hand to the other side of your foot, back to all fours, and same options. You might rock forwards and backwards, you might sway your hips side to side, or you might do a little rotation, circling in one direction or the other. And again, you can make that as big or small as feels comfortable. So you might have a large circle with your bottom coming towards your heels, and it helps to relax through the sides as well. Okay, lovely. Okay, so next we're going to stay in all fours. And just think about keeping your knees and your ankles about the same distance apart. I'm just going to face towards you for a moment, and then you can start to step your knees a bit wider. So as you do that, check in. You can stay here up on all fours, or you might very slowly start to bring your upper body down. Good. So I'll do a side angle of that for you as well. Good. So stepping your knees wider, stay if that's comfortable, just so you can start to feel a little bit of a release on the inner parts of your thighs. You can bring your upper body down. If you do feel tension, see if you prefer having your knees wider than your ankles, but ideally you might have or feel more sensation if you have your knees and your ankles about the same distance apart. So just come into that as much as feels comfortable, and just let the stillness start to arise in your body, in your movements. But adjust at any time by bringing your knees towards each other. Good, so we'll just stay for another round up here. Lovely. And then when you're ready, very slowly start to bring your toes towards each other, shift the weight back. Good. And you can start to bring your knees in gently towards each other. Good. And then once your knees are towards each other, think about circling again your toes or your tailbone, drawing circles on the ceiling in either direction. See what feels nice. Good. And then we'll come to sit on our bottom with the knees bent. And if you just lean back a little bit, so you have a long spine, you can relax your fingertips out to the side, and then just start to relax or windshield wiper your knees side to side. And just notice how that feels. It might create almost like a massage effect for your contact points of your sitting bones. You can adjust the range by how close your feet are to your body, or just see what feels nice. You can just play with that. How close would you like your feet to your body, or further away? And if you create a bit of space between your feet side to side, and that might allow the rotation to increase in your hip space, with your knees kind of coming to the center and out to the side as much as feels comfortable. So just do that, what feels nice for you. And you might feel a little release through your lower back, your hips. Good, lovely. Okay, so we'll come back to a stillness. And if you lay on your back with your knees bent, and just check in with your touching points on the floor. So you can notice the back of your head, let your body feel in a comfortable alignment so it feels like either side of your spine, your body's kind of even, if that feels comfortable. So your hips are even, you can make little adjustments, your shoulders, your feet, your knees. Okay, and if it's comfortable, relax your hands either side of your hips. We'll start to do a little movement now for tilting our hips to create a little bit of ease in our lower back. So as you inhale, you might feel your belly fill and your lower back rounds away from the floor, so it's like your tailbone tips into the ground. And then as you exhale, navel draws inward and your tailbone kind of tips upwards. So it's like your lower back almost softens into the mat. So just do that again at your own pace. Inhale, belly fills. Exhale, navel draws inward. Tailbone tips up. Good, so one more round at your own pace. Good. Maybe feel that little subtle movement of your hips. Kind of radiate upwards to your shoulder blades or in the back of your head. Good, so stay with this if that feels comfortable. Option 2, you might use your exhalation to lift up to bridge and just lift as high as feels comfortable. So just so your bottom is away from the floor. Come down at any time, but it's quite nice to keep your head in the center so it avoids any neck tension. But lift as high as feels comfortable, and again you can relax when it feels right. But if you're comfortable holding, stay option to tuck your shoulder blades under. You can hold onto your ankles or interlace your fingers below you. But think about your knees just very gently lengthening away from you. So that helps it open or release the muscles a bit in your thighs as well as your hip space, which we did earlier from all fours and another one leg forward. Good, so just explore that at your own pace. If you want to, you're welcome to come up into shoulder send here. If you've practiced shoulder send before, so it's nice to practice shoulder send with care. So you might do that first by placing a block underneath your lower back or like a rolled up cushion. And so stay in the bridge, you come out at any time, but if you want to explore variations of shoulder send, you can lift your legs up, or you can even support your legs, lift your legs up to the ceiling. Good, but really think about the weight being supported in your arms. Good, and you're welcome to bring one leg over head at a time or keep them as they are. Good, but again, come out at any time. Oh, sorry, it's better not to look to the side when you do that. So just keep your head nice and neutral. I'm going to come out, but you're welcome to hold deeper, but really support your back. You can bend your knees to do that as you lower your spine down. Good, so same with the bridge. You can come out at any time. When you do come out, just let your spine lower down one vertebrae at a time. Good, so we'll explore that for another round of breath. If you'd like to hold, it might vary where your arms are. Good. But when you do come out, so again, come out at any time, just start to soften each vertebrae down. And when your hips are in contact with the ground, you can bring your knees to your chest. So we'll start to think about easing out of our position now if you're still enjoying your shoulder stand or your bridge. Good, so just one vertebrae down at a time. And when your hips support your back fully, when your hips are in contact with the ground, bring your knees to your chest, hold your shins. Options to stay here. Particularly if you've been in shoulder stand, it might be nice to rock forward and backwards. Any of the options. If you like to imagine you're drawing circles on the ceiling with your knees, either direction, that rocking forwards and backwards you can do with your chin slightly tucked in, or you might like to kind of have your feet about the width of your hips and almost like a plow pose, chin towards your chest a bit and just rocking a little bit so your toes kind of come overhead. So it's quite nice sometimes to have that connection with your toes and your hands to feel where that creates a nice release both in your lower back and your shoulders. Good, so just make a few movements that feel nice for you. Okay, great, so we'll do a little spinal rotation next. So if you open your arms out to the side, have your knees bent, option to place your feet on the floor if that feels more comfortable today for your lower back. Good, and as you exhale, slowly bring your knees over to one side. So I'm bringing my knees over to the right side. If that feels intense, you can either pop a cushion or a pillow or your fist underneath your knee that's close to the floor, or you can alternatively just windshield wiper your knees side to side. Just demonstrate the windshield wipering, something similar to what we did earlier in a seated position. Good, so if you're comfortable holding, stay, let both shoulders relax into the ground. Option to straighten your leg. You might even hold onto your toes with your hand. See where you'd like to turn your head, so away from your bent knees, deepens the rotation. Good, so one more breath here. Just allowing that stillness to relax your lower back, your rib cage. Good. Okay. And when you're ready, bend your knees, slowly come back to center. Another side when you're ready. Same options, shoulders in contact. Options to straighten your leg, maybe hold onto your toe, You might prefer to stay with the windshield wiper or start to circle your ceiling on your knees. No, your knees on the ceiling. Good. One more breath here. Lovely. And when you're ready, slowly bring your knees back to center. Good, and we'll just make any stretch that feels comfortable. So you might do a nice full body stretch. You might like a little happy baby pose with your feet flexed and rocking side to side, and you can make that quite organic and playful if you like happy baby pose. Good. Or you can windshield wiper your knees again, or just rest one ankle on the opposite thigh. See if that feels nice. Good. So after you've had a nice stretch out into space, just come to find a comfortable position for a moment or two to relax. So I'll sit up, but just see if you'd like to relax with your knees bent or have your legs straight, or you might prefer to be seated. And sometimes it's nice to have one hand on your belly and one hand on your heart, or have them out to the side and just rest in pose Shavasana. Good. And just find a nice comfortable position for you. You're welcome to find layers, your socks and jumpers. And just take a few moments to relax. With each exhalation, soften. And with each inhalation, draw in a sense of calm and peace, like waves of calm flowing through you. When you exhale, let go through your back body, through your touching points, the back of your head, your arms and shoulders, your fingers and hands, your hips, your lower back, your legs and feet. Let go and come to sense the ground below you. And you're welcome to stay here longer in your relaxation. When it feels right to come out of it, you can just gently start to make the subtle movements to relax and reconnect though with your body and explore gently into space. So just do that at your own pace, but I'll leave you here now. Thank you for honoring yourself with your practice of yoga today. I hope you have a wonderful, peaceful rest of your day. Feel free to send over any questions to our Facebook page, or check out the other videos we have here on Facebook or on Essex Sports, the YouTube page. Thank you.